Well, it's interesting because in the article they actually talked about two different scenarios where the women came from families where one of their siblings was deemed the smart one, or they were deemed the perfect one, right? And so they battled with, if their parents saw them perfect and then the world didn't, they battled with that and they didn't want to be found out. And it's interesting because I come from a family where my sibling was deemed the perfect one, and that I would self sabotage. Like, I didn't start enlisting a mentor way into my career, like, really, like, maybe in the last 4 or 5 years. But also, I didn't want anyone to see my deficiencies. Like, I didn't want anybody to see like what I wasn't strong in. And I'm wondering if that's is one of the issues of, hey, they see this is moving in the right direction but not wanting to be exposed. And I know that people come into my practice with these things of, why can't I complete this, why am I self-sabotaging this? And sometimes I, not all the times, but I get them to understand what's in their bag, what did their parents give them, what did their ancestors give them, and also how's it playing out in various parts of their lives. And I think that, I know for me, one of the things that helped me was I played sports, but that I could like divide and conquer, but I understood the concept of team and my role. And I think that in the article they talked about just not wanting to be found out and being fraudulent, and just these different, the false self and the true self.
I'm glad you brought up that part of the article because I forgot to address it. I'm actually just going to read it. Clance and Imes' original paper identified two distinct family patterns that gave rise to imposter feelings. Either women had a sibling who had been identified as the smart one, or they themselves had been identified as superior in every way: intellect, personality, appearance, and talent. You spoke on the first scenario where the other sibling was identified as the smart one. And the second case they present here is when the individual themselves was identified as the one that was superior in every way: intellect, personality, appearance, and talent. And this is coming from the parents, but in the community of Black women, I think that second scenario is coming from society in the and a comprehensive marketing campaign in the form of this Black girl magic stuff.
Right.
Black women are strong and independent and invincible and can overcome anything no matter what's thrown at them, and blah blah blah. That is an impossible standard to live up to. And what the article presents is the crisis in the individual comes from having these impossibly high standards imposed upon them and basically being told that you're invincible, but that's not the experience that they're having in life. They're having
Right.
the normal struggles that everybody has, because we all have to work through things. Things don't work out most of the time. And when you've been told you're perfect, but you find yourself struggling with a whole lot of things, which is normal, that that conflict causes you to wonder, well, maybe it's just me that I'm deficient, according to this article. So I'm thinking, what I see is that this second dynamic that they're describing is not coming from parents; it's coming from society. I've been vocal about the whole Black girl magic thing. I don't like it. It's not healthy. It's not productive, in my opinion. It's imposing impossible standards on individuals that it's just, no one can succeed in life doing everything themselves. We
Right.
human beings are designed to interact. We're social creatures. You need teamwork to accomplish anything, particularly in the small business world. When you start a business, you are not going to be successful doing everything by yourself. And when you're told you can do everything by yourself and you start a business and you cannot do everything by yourself, it creates quite a bit of conflict within the individual, a crisis within the individual. There's, I work primarily with women business owners and I listen a lot, and I know about stuff that, things they're doing, self-medicating with alcohol. That wine therapy is a thing, not a good thing.
Right.
Um, some people are self-medicating with prescription medications, antidepressants, anti-anxiety stuff, things that you would not need if you were not imposing unrealistic standards upon yourself and trying to do everything alone. It's just these women are being put on a path to failure, and it's not their doing. They're following what they've been told, but they've been told a lie. You just can't be successful in small business by yourself. And that second dynamic that's discussed in this article, being told that you're superior in every way, and then not being able to live up to that, and the feelings of inadequacy that come from that, that's what I think I've been seeing anecdotally as a business coach. And this article is extremely helpful for me in that regard, seeing that, okay, that's probably where this is coming from. Maybe if I can, try to figure out a solution, or working, like was reaching out to you, let me find a therapist that I can partner with so that we can work together to provide people with, I deliver the technical training. Here's how you grow this business. And the therapy part is learning how to work out those issues that you're having that prevent you from doing the things that you know you need to do in order to be successful. So that's why I was really excited to start the show off with the Mind Your Business show off with this particular topic, because imposter syndrome, or whatever, if it's not imposter syndrome, maybe it's mislabeled as imposter syndrome and it's something else. Whatever it is, it's pervasive, particularly in the community of Black women business owners. And if we can figure out some solutions to this, we can help a lot of people live a lot more fulfilling lives.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think sometimes it's these layers, right? It's kind of like, what's these layers in their personal life? What's these layers in their professional life? How does the world see them? And I think that if we can decrease, or if they really want to live the life they deserve, those are the layers that they'd have to start pulling back. Those are the layers of, how am I showing up for my friends? Is it because I want to present as this one person, but your internal battle is pretty messed up? Like it's a me versus me battle. And I think that a lot of people desire, I think there's been, especially during COVID, there's this been desire, a push to be an entrepreneur, have a small business. But a lot of times people don't understand the work that goes into it. It's not easy. Um, Even going down to like taxes or getting, it's just not easy. But I think that it's these layers in the mental health perspective, these layers. And sometimes I get people who are scared to like pull these layers back, because it's going to change the way that they dance with their families, with their friends, and they don't want to be seen as anything different than what they're currently seen as, but it's causing so much unrest internally. They can't get sleep. They're not getting sleep. They're gaining weight. They can't lose weight. They might be struggling in their, romantic relationships, or not have a relationship, um, because they've checked all these boxes of getting all these accolades, but they don't know how to show their true self to a partner. So when they get really close to somebody, they actually will sometimes become aggressive, or self sabotage the relationship, or pick a wrong partner because that partner is based off their image out in the community. And I just think that in this article, it did a really good job of talking about the mask that one wears, and kind of the three stages of this mask, of your mask that you have on, what's your personality behind the mask, and what is it like to live life if you didn't have the mask on. And I think that in my practice, we work on that. And I think that a lot of people wear the mask, and I think that it impacts Black women a lot, because you do get the message of being strong. You do get the message of, oh, I'm independent. Like if we think about songs, we are what we eat. So we are what we listen to, we are what we watch, and we are what we subscribe to. And it really, um, you really got to look at the ingredients of your day. What are you plugging into? Black girl magic, it doesn't speak to me, right? And for me, it doesn't speak to me because the message in my household was I was a person. It wasn't that, hey, I knew I was Black, but it got pushed in that. So I don't really plug into that, but I do plug in. I've plugged into working hard and putting my head down and working. And I know that that's gotten in the way of me living the life I deserve. And I started making changes. But yeah, I totally agree.